Okay, guys, so for today's video, we got a bit of an interesting one, in my opinion. We have Piers Morgan going head to head with Pearl Davis, aka Just Pearly Things, who's been on his show the past, I think, two other times, talking about anti-feminist stuff and how she thinks, women shouldn't have the vote, this and that and that. However, the title of this one is she's questioned for her anti-Semitic song. Now, from what I've been hearing, she pulled the video down, but I think you could still find it online. And the title of this video is Piers Morgan Grills Her on It. Now, I put this poll up earlier this week just to see what people think about free speech. And the reason I put that poll up is because I wanted to cover this video and see what people thought about it in regards to, I guess, what is considered free speech versus hate speech versus, what you should say, not say, that kind of thing. So without further ado, let's hop into this.
Welcome back to Piers Morgan Censored. Pearl Davis is the self-styled anti-feminist influencer who's creating major buzz online with a contrarian view. She's appeared in a couple of debates on this show. It's called Uncensored after all. We welcome any honestly held opinions. But this week, she's facing a major backlash for posting a song titled Why Can't We Talk About the Jews, which she dedicated to far-right commentator Nick Fuentes before later deleting it.
Oh my gosh, it says right here, inspired by Nick Fuentes. So her face right off the bat is telling me that she might be a little caught off guard here. Now, a clip I did see, she was saying that I think she was supposed to be on the show debating somebody else, and maybe last minute they swapped out, and maybe the subject matter changed as well, so maybe this is why her face is like that, but let's get into this.
Why can't we talk about without getting kicked off of YouTube?
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying Hitler was a good guy, but I kinda wanna know why. Now there's all these conspiracy theories, and the more they talk, I think maybe they're right. But I can't even listen to the convo.
Well, Pearl joins me now, along with the New York author and founder of End Jew Hatred, Brooke Goldstein, over in the States. All right, Pearl, you've come on the show a couple of times, right?
Okay, before we get into this, I'm a little confused as to what she's trying to talk about. Okay, so this is kind of, I guess, in the same talking aspect that Kanye West said, where you can't say anything about the Jews or Jewish people, I guess because he was implying that they run everything, they're in all the businesses and this and that. Which I wouldn't say all of them. I would say, it's been known that a good majority of Jewish people do run certain businesses or industries. She's, I don't think, ever been silenced on YouTube. She's never been kicked off, and she's never been canceled. So I don't know what she's trying to talk about YouTube. I think she has been demonetized before, but I think she's now able to make money again off YouTube. The Hitler part, I'm a little confused about, and these controversy or conspiracy theories that she's talking about. Maybe she'll get into them.
We've had some spirited debates about feminism and stuff like that, and I thought you've made some good points and it's got lots of traction. Then I wake up the other day and I see this thing that's trending involving you doing this song, and I couldn't really believe what I was watching. I didn't know why did you find it funny?
Huh?
Did you find it funny? I mean, you know the backlash to it. I mean,
Man, she is so uncomfortable right here. She's either gobsmacked that he initially said this was dedicated to Nick Fuentes, or she's just so uncomfortable with this line of questioning, or she didn't know what was happening. I don't know.
you deleted it. You obviously thought you shouldn't have posted it. Why did you do that? Genuine question.
I mean, the point was more about cancel culture and people getting kicked off of social media. If you finished the song, it was more about, like, you can't talk about this topic without being canceled by the left and the right. I don't really have a strong opinion either way. It was kind of just like tongue in cheek. I didn't really expect it to get that crazy. I also It wasn't dedicated to anyone. I don't know why they say that, but that's not true.
I mean, Nick Fuentes is a white supremacist. He's a Holocaust denier. He said afterwards that you had dropped a diss track on the Jews, which he clearly took to be something which was, you know, mocking Jewish people, talking about, I'm not saying Hitler was a good guy, but I want to know why. What do you want to know why?
Well, it was more like, why can't we talk about it? It wasn't like
We talked about the more conspiracy.
Okay, so why can't we talk about Hitler and the Jews and the Holocaust? Is that what she's trying to ask? Now, to her earlier point about getting canceled from the left and the right on YouTube, again, she's not canceled. She's on multiple different platforms. But the way that I look at Pearl, I just see her as like one of the biggest grifters that are out there. You know, in the manosphere or the red pill or whatever you want to call it community. She's like the only female body that's like pro men, and she, like, again, she's been on this show for anti-feminist points before. She likes to kind of stir the pot. It's like she kicks the beehives just to get a stir, more attention drawn to her. She gets more clicks. As of lately, she's been referred to as the female Andrew Tate. Who knows if that is kind of now dying down and she's now looking for something else to kind of stir the attention back up, so she's deciding to make this stupid song. But again, let's keep listening.
Theories you've heard about Hitler and the Holocaust, presumably.
I'm a fan of conspiracy theory. Like, you know, people think I'm part of the CIA. There's a whole conspiracy thing online. And
nobody thinks you're part of the CIA. At least nobody with a proper brain cell would think that you're part of the CIA.
You know, I'm not for like silencing it either way. The point of the song isn't like I really have an opinion on the matter. It's more, I don't think we should ban people off of social media. So far so that I don't even, like, I think it should be illegal to ban anybody off of social media unless they're inciting violence. That was the point of the song. I'm not really, it was more like tongue-in-cheek.
But just to be clear.
Okay, so in regards to what she just said, I feel, and that's why I put in my poll, I said, outside of inciting violence, doxing somebody, or causing harm to others, should free speech be just that, free? And I would agree with her on this point. I think that that is fair game. Saying certain things online, whether it is hurtful or maybe it upsets you or hurts your feelings, I don't think that that should be grounds to kick somebody off if none of those other three criteria kind of, and I'm sure there's a few others that I've missed, but those three main ones. And I look at it as like what the ACLU did, I think it was 1978, around there, or 1980, in regards to like allowing, I think they allowed neo-Nazis to either march or protest in a certain area in, I think it was Chicago, that had like a lot of Holocaust survivors. And I don't think that march even ever happened, but the fact that the ACLU was like supportive of it because of free speech, that's kind of where I go back to on my views of it. Now, obviously, people don't like hearing these anti-Semitic things, or, you know, hearing that the Holocaust never happened, stuff like that, because that's crazy. Just like I put in the poll, flat earthers, and I'm not trying to compare flat earth to the Holocaust. I'm just going to say like crazy conspiracies where people say like the Holocaust never happened or the earth's not round. Like, I'm okay with these types of things being said because I myself know that they're not true. But I don't think we should not allow these people to say these things, even if it is absolutely crazy or anything like that.
What are the conspiracy theories surrounding Hitler, which you feel, the more you hear them, the more you're interested in them?
Well, I don't know, because I can't hear them.
Huh?
I don't know.
You know the ones that Nick Fuentes.
Well, I wasn't even talking about Nick. I was thinking of Ye, to be honest. I don't know why they put that Nick was the inspiration for that song. I was thinking of Ye.
You are aware of the big backlash to this and the deep upset from the Jewish community.
I certainly am now. I just posted that song and I woke up and I was like, article. I was like, golly,
Right, but are you
This is
sorry?
crazy. You know, I think that, like, my whole point was that cancel culture is wrong. I am not speaking one way or the other about the issues. My question is, why are we canceled for talking about certain topics?
So you would allow Holocaust deniers to have space on social media to promote Holocaust denials to millions of people? You have 2 million people who subscribe to your YouTube, right? That's a
Yeah, but I think that's irrelevant how many people she says that, like how many people she has, because there's always going to be a certain amount of Holocaust deniers out there. And whether her platform reaches a few more than others, you know, there's substantial evidence that the Holocaust happened and people know this. It's a very, very small pocket or minority that I would say are Holocaust deniers. And I don't think there's going to be a huge uproar in Holocaust deniers. But even if there is, at least to me, I mean, I wouldn't really care too much because I myself know the truth and I don't need to listen to them. They can say whatever they want, but in the end, I know that, you know, that's what they're saying is not true.
big audience
Well,
of people.
I'm not at 2 million yet. I'd like to be.
Right, but you have a lot of people that follow you on various social media platforms.
Yeah.
You put a video like that up, and there are going to be some impressionable young minds going, hang on, what's Pearl saying? Adolf Hitler? Not saying he's a good guy, but I want to know why. The more conspiracies theories I hear, the more I have to think about it.
But
I took that to mean that you agree with Fuentes and people like that.
Why did you cut off the end of the song? I said, but we can't even have the conversation.
What is the conversation you want to have?
Without being canceled by the left and the right.
But what
the
is
point is any speech.
No,
I
Pearl,
think
it's not any speech.
speech.
It's not any speech. What is the conversation about Hitler and conspiracy theories and the Holocaust that you want to have?
I don't want to have any conversation. My lane is feminism. That's what
Well, you're singing about Adolf Hitler.
Can I finish?
Yeah, but you are singing about Hitler.
Okay.
So you do want to have that conversation.
I want anybody that wants to speak on social media to be able to speak about what they want to talk about,
including Holocaust
without
denial.
getting banned. Whatever they want to talk about.
Including Holocaust.
I don't really know where Pierce is going with this. I understand he's against Holocaust deniers, and so am I, but censoring that kind of speech becomes a slippery slope, because then you can start to censor and not allow any other kind of speech that you decide is not correct, which in the end, to me, then that is not free speech. I don't know, am I off on this one, guys?
Holocaust denial.
If they want to talk about that, as long as they're not inciting violence, I think people.
Of course they're inciting violence. They're inciting a hatred of Jewish people.
Social media is the new town square, right? You used to be able to go and say your opinions in the town square. Now we have corporations censoring what can and cannot be said. And I think that's wrong. I think that should be illegal.
Well, let me bring in Brooke, who's been listening to this. Brooke, I don't think Pearl quite understands why the wording of this song, which she deleted, to be clear, so obviously realised this had not played out maybe the way she hoped. The offence it's caused to the Jewish community. Why was it so offensive?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for having me on and for highlighting this issue. Not necessarily highlighting Pearl, but highlighting the issue that what you pointed out is that we're really facing a crisis of societal conscience, where someone like Pearl, who engages in hate speech, and actually the irony is she's complaining about being canceled, and yet she's on your platform. She has millions of viewers on the internet and on social media, and she's complaining about being canceled. The crisis is that this is what is profitable now. This clickbait, this type of racial incitement is profitable on the internet. And you know, I'm sitting here, I'm listening to Pearl. I don't know if she's just plain stupid or she's actually quite intelligent and knows that what she's doing is so sensational that it's going to make her a lot of money. But I want to say one thing.
And that's what I was saying. She's such a grifter that this definitely was just a way to entice probably eyes. There's no way that she decided to just make a song like this, post it at night, go to bed and wake up to headlines published about her and then be like, oh my gosh, what happened? Oh golly, so many people are writing about me. Like, there's definitely, as I said, there's some incentive here. She's trying to make money off of this, or trying to, you know, have the spotlight put back on her. But
Pearl will disappear. She will
Whoa,
disappear.
whoa, what
Of money.
happened?
But I want to say one thing. Pearl will disappear. She will disappear, like many others before her, because this is something that's just a moment in time. She's like a train wreck. It's like a car crash. You know, for example, you know you shouldn't be looking at it, but you can't take your eyes off it. But I want to make one more point. I think it's so important, especially on this platform. Hatred is taught. Nobody is born like this. And I talk about it a lot in my book about the dangers of hate education. And it's not something that we can debate, that we can engage in a rational argument with. You can see what her opinions are. She thinks women shouldn't vote, women shouldn't have the right to divorce. She thinks that women shouldn't be able to work. She says these
I didn't say
crazy things
now
about,
you're putting words in my
Hitler.
mouth.
Oh, man. And this is what I mean. Again, Pearl, she's so cringy. She's just like, again, this is just another ploy of the grift where she's just trying to, you know, peddle her weird talking points. But at the same time, I think that she should have the right to do that. I don't think that she should be banned off the platform, even for the stuff that she says. Again, like saying women can't vote or shouldn't vote. And she even made a weird comment about like 16-year-olds are hotter than 26-year-olds. Like, as weird and cringy as a lot of the stuff she says, I think that it still should be allowed as part of the free speech. Now, this lady saying that Pearl will disappear, and I'm guessing she's talking about, like, she said like others, so I'm guessing like Kanye West and Nick Fuentes and Andrew Tate and all these people that got banned off social medias, in my opinion, kind of gives Pearl's talking point about why can't we talk about the Jews like a little bit of a leg to stand on. And I'm not saying that she's saying because she's talking about Jews she'll get kicked off, but the way she said that did kind of sound like a threat in my opinion.
But there's
Now you're
no
putting words in my
rational,
mouth.
please don't interrupt. There's no rational argument with someone like this. And this is a mistake that my community makes, the Jewish community, very often, that they think they can bring facts to the table, that they can debate somebody like Pearl, and it's, you know, you're going to get somewhere. You're not going to get anywhere. You're going to get somewhere only by shedding the light on this type of bigotry to expose someone like her.
Let me just
the crazy person that she is.
All right, bro. Let me go back to Pearl. Pearl, let me just offer you some advice, right?
Okay.
Because I don't think you're stupid. And in the 2 appearances you've made previously on this program, I thought it was interesting. It was controversial in some ways, but actually a lot of people would have agreed with some of the things you were saying. There's no question about that. But you seem to know where the line was. Someone like Nick Fuentes doesn't know where the line is. Someone like Kanye West, who I interviewed after he went on some weird anti-Semitic trope nonsense. Kanye's been wiped out by what he did, by what he said about the Jewish people, because there are certain things where I am absolutely in support of the concept of free speech, right? But you can't go around telling Jewish people...
But see, that's where I feel like you're not, because... Again, I'm not endorsing what Kanye West does or what Nick Fuentes does and all that, but I also don't think silencing or wiping them off any of the platforms is the way to go, because one, it draws more attention to them as to what's going on, what happened, what did they say, and then gets more clicks and all this stuff. But also, Piers Morgan, all those other platforms, all of them also benefited from having those people on their show. Not so much Nick Fuentes, but they all invited Kanye West onto their show to talk about his crazy ideas and everything like that. Maybe a way to just to understand, but also they were giving him a platform, which I think if they were so against it, they wouldn't have done that to begin with. I don't know.
The Holocaust didn't happen as
Ooh,
Fuentes.
that's
And people
not-
like Fuentes does say things like that.
But I'm not him. So
But
you're bringing me up. So it's like
no, but when you sing a song,
right.
and you talk about
Who
Hitler,
determines what the line is, Pierce?
Well, I'm asking
Who determines? Do you get to determine it?
No, I'm
Does she
asking,
get to determine
I'm asking
it?
you
Who
to.
gets to determine what the line
I'm asking you
is?
to work out in your head.
I'm saying the
you're not a
line-
stupid person.
the
When you
line-
say, I'm not saying Hitler was a good guy, but I want to know why. right? When you talk about the more conspiracy theories about him I hear, the more I'm like, well, that's interesting. I'm just like agog that even now you don't seem to really grasp why singing that and releasing it to millions of people is incredibly offensive to Jewish people.
I think at the end of the day, Piers, I don't think it's for you to determine what speech should be allowed and not allowed.
No, what about you determining? Why did you delete it?
Why did I delete it?
Yeah.
Because it was just a headache, Piers.
Because you knew it was wrong?
I just think it's like, it's not the hill I'm trying to die on.
Right, but why did you choose that hill to die on?
Well, then
I didn't choose this hill to die on.
You did. You released the video.
again, like I said, she's a grifter, so she just needed some of that attention. She figured, oh, this would be an easy thing to do. Maybe she didn't expect this much backlash. I don't know, but pretty dumb move in general.
Also released 10 different videos about
but they're
10
not
different
all
other
basically.
topics
But they're
that
not
day.
talking about Adolf Hitler, are they?
Are we not allowed to talk about him?
You can talk about Hitler right to the point you say the more conspiracy theories I hear about him.
Look, I think that anyone should be allowed to speak about any conspiracy theory on social media. That is my point. It's not about Hitler. It's not
If
about
you really
the
believed what you
Holocaust.
did wasn't wrong, you wouldn't have deleted it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Don't you think?
I
mean,
agree
fair
with
enough.
Pearl.
Go on, bro.
If I may just say one thing, as an attorney, I have to say that I do agree with her, that I am a free speech purist. And I think that even bigotry
Ooh, even
should
her, I don't know.
be able to be spoken in the public sphere. But the problem of cancel culture is not against anti-Jewish speech. I think that's very clear. We see the scourge of anti-Semitism and Jew hatred rising on the internet. The problem is that there's no consequences for it, and the way that private companies
How are there no consequences for it?
Canceling is they're going after pro-Jewish speech. They're going after pro-Israel speech. I can't tell you how many times I'm contacted by people, and often my own clients, who are shut down on social media for saying anything positive about Jewish people, about Judaism, or about Israel.
Well, I think that's not right either. You know, again, if you're a if you're a free speech purist, as she states, then I don't know what she's talking about consequences should happen. Because the consequence being you say something and then you get canceled, and then again, that contradicts free speech, no? I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something here.
Yet these social media companies are unequally applying their own standards. And, you know, while they're, for example, shutting down COVID deniers, they are allowing Holocaust denial speech. They are allowing people like Pearl to spew her hatred. So if we are...
And again, sorry for pausing, but I mean, that's pretty stupid too. I mean, COVID deniers, I wouldn't say COVID. Yeah, if people want to deny COVID's a thing, or like that we should have taken the vaccines, yada yada, I think that they should be allowed to do that too. I don't see why people are getting kicked off for that, or misinformation or disinformation about COVID. Like, I don't know.
Are really free speech purists, and that's what we are saying that companies should do. They should allow all speech.
Yeah, I hear you. Listen, I would just say this to you, Pearl.
Unless it's incitement to immediate violence.
Right, I would say this to you, Pearl.
So we agree.
No,
Wow.
Pearl, I would say this to you in conclusion.
We're all on the same team now.
In conclusion, look, you deleted this, so you clearly felt bad about what you'd put up, or you wouldn't have deleted it. You accept that?
No.
You don't accept it?
I just, it's kind of a headache. I was like, well, it just seems like a lot of headache to me.
Right, or did you realize actually in that moment, from the visceral reaction from the Jewish community, you crossed a line that you yourself should have worked out was there?
Look, at the end of the day, Piers, the song was about freedom of speech. It wasn't one way or the other. The song was about why can't we have these conversations on social media, and why do I keep getting...
About why Hitler may be a good guy.
And why do I keep seeing people get banned on social media? My point is, I don't think there should be a line unless you're inciting violence.
Here's a line.
Wait, Piers, would we agree on that?
Listen...
Yes or no? Yes or no? Would we agree?
Here's my point.
No? Yes?
You haven't
No?
answered my question.
Okay.
I'm not saying Hitler was a good guy. guy, but I want to know why. Want to know why what?
We can't have the conversation without being canceled by the left and the right. I just don't understand why you guys added. You guys cut out the end of the song.
Pearl.
You did 75. Okay.
The conversation about whether Hitler was a good guy. You want to have that conversation?
I think that
he murdered 12 million people,
my whole
including
point,
6 million Jewish people on the Holocaust.
My whole point is we should be able to have that conversation.
But whether he's a good guy?
Yes, because it causes more commotion when you're starting to censor people.
I don't agree.
Like, I think that's wrong. I think it's
agree.
wrong to censor anybody.
Well, you know what? You can have that conversation. You had that conversation. You posted it. You haven't been cancelled. I've had you on the show because I thought you might, with time, to think about this, regret what you did, because you can clearly, you're not stupid. You do understand the offence it caused. And wanting to have the right to debate whether Hitler's a good guy is just cretinous.
No, I want anybody to be able to speak on any platform. That was the point of the song.
All right, let's leave it there.
Can I point out a nuance here?
I've got Brooke, I'm sorry. I'm afraid we've run out of time, but thank you for coming on the programme. I greatly appreciate it. And Pearl, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Wow. Okay. Definitely a bit of a longer video. Sorry about that, guys, but I wanted to catch this whole thing, kind of see what was going on from what I was hearing. Love to hear what you guys have to say. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks so much.